Hello, and welcome to my settlement archive. This is the second video where I've started to record one of these and an explosion has immediately gone off. This is the sort of miscellaneous roundup for all the settlements that I hopefully at least did something with, but otherwise they're not impressive enough to really need their own tool. This is the best of them, honestly. Tenpines Bluff still looks pretty good, but it's so small that we'll cover it very quickly. So here's the bar. All the usual amenities, beds, bars, guard defences, the sort of the normal things that I'll do with a, what is that? Boxcar. Yeah, I think so. This is actually one of the few settlements where using the boxcars feels like it makes more sense, since I think there's a train yard over that way-ish. I mean, a quick look. Yeah, Bedford Station. Well, only down there. That doesn't stop me, though. I use them all the time because they look nice. I wasn't able to get rid of this structure, but I did get rid of the beds with, I think, console commands, so I could turn it into a little workbench room. Heading up here, we have a lovely little farm area overseen by a guard in our beautiful Minutemen blues. I feel like that would whack them on the head occasionally. You two just have that shit on, don't you? God damn. Anyway, heading back down. We have the large sort of standard farm area. I think that's there in Tenpines by default. And let's see, what's that? The standard tradesman's area, artillery cannons, engines. The best part of it, which we'll get to. And here we have another boring plain bunkhouse. I need to get better at building those. And here we have one of my attempts at making use of the pre-existing structure. Now, as I've mentioned in previous videos, for a long time I didn't use place everywhere, so I couldn't really integrate walls into this structure as easily as I could later on in, say, Croup Manor, which is why, instead, the entire structure is built on top. Now, this is primarily a bunkhouse, and by primarily, I mean entirely. It has a nice little guardhouse and this sort of bar area, which, with a bit more work, could have actually been sort of made into something quite cool. But you can see why, especially if you've seen some of the builds where it's just clear that I put more time and effort into it, that this isn't worth covering with its own video. I like that structure. If the save wasn't broken, I would probably come back and at least overhaul that. But, alas, we are on to the next area. These are going to be relatively rapid fire because I honestly don't think there's much worth seeing here. Welcome to Outpost Zimonja. I don't know if I'm saying that right, I hope I am. It's rather plain. I had plans to build here, but it's one of the ones I didn't get around to, and now it's too late, which sucks, but yeah, it is what it is. Oh, that's nice. I attached the bell into the structure, that's sort of fun. Yeah, I had plans sort of similar to what you might have seen me do with Coastal Cottage, my water tank, to build a large structure to really expand the outpost, but obviously I just sort of didn't. Instead, as I tend to do, very much tried to sort of work around the original structure, added this section as, more bunks, as I tend to do. Also do my single worst bed placement in the entire Commonwealth. Added beds to this. I'm pretty sure this was all pre-existing structure, and added this extension of farmland at the back here. Literally the only other thing of worth in this settlement, if I just hop over to this brewmaster, nope, not having it, there we go, is another bunkhouse here, and, a lot of my bunkhouses aren't great. This is egregious. This just isn't. I could do so much more, and I will in my next playthrough. I don't know what I'll do yet, because this is one of those settlements I think is really hard to work with, but I'll think of something. I've already covered Abernethy Farm in the first video, but it's effectively untouched. So next up, let's head to Covenant. Covenant, I think, is one of the hardest settlements to work with because it's so tied to plot of its story, and because it's so nicely done up already. Oh shit, did I actually... Okay, well... Must also be said, I have not double-checked all of these settlements beforehand, so let's go have a look. So we have a guard post here, a sign welcoming people in, that I've added manually. I turned the little questioning booth into a generation factory of some kind, and once again, I put a backwards missile launcher. That's embarrassing. Oh well. Heading on in, I put the trading outpost over there. I've The Honest Motel. I wonder what's... Apparently I did. Oh great, it's another one of my egregious bunkhouses. Who could have seen that coming?
Thanks for your help, pal.
No worries, don't know what I did. I honestly don't know if these were like this in Covenant before, or if I did that. Added a flag here. Okay, right. I'm starting to realise the issue. Please hold for a moment. Ah, good morning. I don't know why they're thanking me for anything. So, in theory, in a moment... Hello, kitty. Seemingly I added these signs and these rugs, which means... Well, that's mine now. There should be shopkeepers here eventually. Will there ever be? Who's to say? Yeah, I added that motel. I added a salvage beacon in here. Over encumbered, evidently. Damn, this place produces caps. Okay. Let's put that stupid 4th of July weapon that we picked up in a previous episode. Yeah, turn this into a little workshop room, seemingly. Put a beacon down here and a cooking station. Other than that, that appears to be largely it. So there wasn't anything outside the settlement, but I did just want to show the shoppers standing as intended. Seemingly I have given that man a dapper suit. That looks like Man McDonough's suit, which I don't know if it's a unique. Again, with Taffington Boathouse, like Group Manor and a few other settlements, this is majorly a fix-up a dilapidated building kind of settlement. Which are my favourites, even though I'm not exceptionally good at them, especially before I was using the place anywhere. Now you definitely are the guard of the settlement, I remember, because you have the silly hat. Inside it is all furnished reasonably. In many places that just means me not removing furniture where I didn't need to. Upstairs, you know, in true me fashion, it's beds galore, but because there was already some furnishings here, it looks slightly less terrible.
Another day of hard work.
A guard post out here overlooking the waters. It doesn't inherently make sense, but it does feel right. Radio beacon here on the edge. Fisherman's workstations. And the water purifier inside here. Now, because of these posts, it's sort of hard to build anything else in here. That being said, I still think I should have just moved the purifier outside and put something in here, but oh well, too late for that. And the farmland that I'm pretty sure comes with the settlement by default. And that just leaves an artillery cannon and some water. Not water, sorry. Wrong element. Unfortunately, this is a settlement that this is probably the settlement I did the absolute least to. I remember adding these 2 beds. We're going to have a quick look inside.
If you work, you eat.
Put those shack walls there. I put some extra beds around. Oh, I did start doing... Okay, I started doing repairs. But that is, by and large, literally going to be it for this settlement. It's the only... This and Abernathy Farm are the only ones I really didn't get a chance to do anything with. And here we are at Finch Farm. Other than setting up some turrets, a generator, a workbench for Jake, so he had something to do. I think the only other thing I did with the settlement is add this little extension here with some more beds. I did come here relatively recently and try to start thinking about what to do, but unfortunately I didn't really have any good ideas. But I will link, if I can figure out how, I'll put a video link here to a guy who really did up Finch Farm. Unfortunately his name is entirely escaping me now, but it'll be on screen. Who really did up his Finch Farm, and he's the one who inspired me to sort of get back into doing this. Which is why with some of my settlements, the later ones like Somerville Place had the radical finds, which provided settlers with a bit more story rather than just being, you know, nameless settlers. Now, the reason that we're at Bunker Hill, and it's in one of these videos, I mean, I feel like Bunker Hill I feel like this is possibly the single hardest settlement to really do anything with, because it's a fully established settlement already. You would be really hard pressed to do much here. And as such, I didn't do much here. Seemingly I added this, but I checked. This is one of the few that I did check earlier. I added this structure here, which gives Kessler a better vantage point to defend the precious bunker hill. I added beds to several structures that already existed. I can't say for sure which ones, but I know plenty of these are mine. And I added this structure here, a large boxcar with some beds in it. Riveting. Everything else is a regular-ass piece of the settlement. It's just that I went through and added a bunch of beds. Just to increase the population. It's boring, it's plain, but also I have absolutely no idea how you could really expand on this, so I don't. Greygarden, I'm fairly confident there's only one major addition. Look around Greygarden and we'll find a bed in a moment. Good. All of this seems standard, so I also did... Sorry, you want settlers? I think these are just Minutemen marching through the area. Anyway, yep, all of this seems more or less unchanged. I think I added this cooking station, and the only other addition is I created Supervisor Red to help protect the poor Mr. Handies from peril. I mean, maybe there's some... Okay, there's seemingly some power cables. Okay, there's a turret. So I literally just add... Okay, 2 turrets, a generator, and a Supervisor Red is literally all you will find. It's Greygarden. So the idea was, as you can see, I've put this great big concrete wall around all sides of the settlement. And the only other thing that I put is this traveling merchant post here. The idea was that this was sort of going to be where the Brotherhood had come to have fun. Like, specifically the inspiration was that one scene in Top Gun Maverick, set to... I've forgotten the name of the song. What was it good for? No. I can't remember. Anyway, the idea was that this was going to be the recreational area for the soldiers, so we would have had a bar. Oh, and also, I mean, hey, it's Mackerel again. I think he comes from the castle. It would have had a bar, it would have had refreshments, it would have had a larger power armor garage, or more, for them to effectively park up. This is just my suit of power armor. But as somebody pointed out recently, I think an issue I would have run into is, oh no, the stores, yeah. Stores are not allowed, so I would not have been able to have created that bar as I so wished. I don't know why they make the settlement so difficult to work with, because, I mean, as you may... Oh no, these are available. You can't put food, you can't bloody do nearly anything. I had to fight to be able to send... still can't put a radio beacon, I'd have to send settlers here manually. All in all, very frustrating, and I'm going to use mods to get around this next time, I think, because I would like to build something here. It's great. It's a great big flat space. Of course I want to build something here. But for this playthrough, not meant to be. A shame. Now, I believe, I'm just going to double check one last time, the last place for us to check out is Sunshine Tidings Co-op, which, unlike a lot of the settlements we've seen today, actually is fully populated. It's just a little bit unimpressive. Heading on up, we have 2 bits of structure that I actually like. That's where the radio recruitment beacon is. This would be the easiest fix in the world, is making it so that latrine is actually usable, although I suspect the reason it was there was so it went to the roof. But still, that's a toilet. You don't want to sit with the generator between your legs, good lord. So it's Sunshine Tidings Co-op, and we actually have a nice bar here. And it's such a nice bar that there's actually a bar on the other side too. Now, these ones aren't functional bars, so the side effect is people stand inside. But like, in terms of design, I think that's quite nice. I wish I'd done more with it. Now, heading on over to here, we have the shopping centre. So all 5 other shops. Excuse me. Interesting. Okay. So sorry, as I was rudely interrupted. Anyway, yes, so we have this shopping centre shopping centre building. I swear to God, that gunfire is all that one dead sick mutant. I do apologise. We have a shopping centre here with all 5 shops in a row, which I think is kind of nice on principle, but it's a bit basic otherwise. But it uses the space at least. I could use the space better, but it uses the space. I also discovered this the other day when I was checking the settlement to see if it deserved to be its own video. Most of these I remembered I hadn't done, but Sunshine, because it looked like it had lots of settlers, and it's because it does have lots of settlers, but as you can see, it's because I just sort of added beds to these pre-established buildings, turning them into my usual horrible bunkhouses. So my thing for my next playthrough is no bunkhouses, or at least slightly decorated ones. This one wasn't me, at least. This one's base game. Now, thankfully, this would be a horrible note to like leave these videos on. Like, if I was gonna leave them as they were, then I absolutely would not make this the last video. I'd put Croup Manor or something as the last video for anyone watching these in order, even if it's just future me. Hello, hope you made some good life choices. These are the workbenches for the travelling merchants and artillery cannon. Where was I? But the good news is I also did all of the Far Harbour settlements and the Nuka-World settlement. Although we're going to get into the issues I had with that one. Now, so the issue is, when I played Nuka-World, I used commands to unlock Red Rocket early, because traditionally you cannot unlock this settlement until you have turned on the power at the end of the DLC. However, because of how I was going to play the DLC, I was not going to need the settlement once I was done with the DLC, which feels obvious. So instead I unlocked it so I had a base of operations to use during my playthrough of Nuka-World, which is a DLC I don't like very much. So, and then it turns out, unfortunately, once I had killed all the raiders and liberated it, I cannot reclaim it as a proper settlement. It is unfortunately stuck as a raider settlement, which sucks, because it just means I can't use it. But having a quick poke around, there is a power armor frame here. I have to assume this was like the quantum armor or something before I skinned it. Weapons workbench, all very standard. I added the workbenches, I added an anti-radiation thing, I added a bed. I didn't really touch the rest of it. Oh, I added a comm station because I thought I was going to be able to, turn this into a settlement later on. Realistically, why would I have sent settlers out here? I don't know. I also set up a robot workbench and a iBot terminal because I was sort of treating this like an extended vacation. I did the entire DLC in one go. I apologise for the shitty lighting, but let's be honest, you're not missing much. This is hardly a settlement by my standards. My standards aren't that high. So what we're left with is this. And now the video should return to its regularly scheduled. I have no idea if I put these here or if that was Bethesda, because I'm not sure why I would have put them there, but hey ho. Anyway. So if you'd be so kind as to excuse the ongoing gunfire, that was all of the less than impressive settlements. I mean, to be fair, I don't think anything I made is exceptional. By any means, people have made far more interesting. Oh. Okay, well there was one last place for us to check out. And here we are at Spectacle Island. Spectacle Island? I'm honestly never sure. It is. Wonderful. Now, Spectacle Island I never got to develop. As you can see, it only has one settler, because the only thing I used it for was to get the 100% settler happiness achievement. Because that is so hard to get in actual play. So I left this island to focus on making sure one settler was happy. But I had plans. You can see that I did start building here. And this is probably the thing that I'm saddest about, that I'm never going to get to finish. So I'm definitely going to do it in my next playthrough. But having a look around, we have more of my usual things. So we have a boxcar bedroom here. Unsurprising. Oh, seemingly this fishing chair, it wasn't actually me. That's interesting. Excuse me, dog meat. I wonder how much of this is... Okay, so all this pier is pre-built, but the boxcar isn't. Okay, interesting. Heading up to the settlement, and this is one of my better jobs at building restoration, I think. If we head on inside. obviously this building has issues. There's honestly too much that isn't repairable for it to really be practical. What I probably would have eventually done is just walled off this room and considered it unusable. Maybe this bit's usable, but yeah, it has issues. But we have a sliding door here, and I set up a bed in here, so this area is actually quite usable. We have also a little mail area over here. If we head upstairs, oh, would you look at that? Sorry, I'll be honest, this is the first time I'm seeing this in well over a year at least. I have actually made good progress on turning this place into something kind of livable. Again, probably would have walled this room off because a little bit unusable. But I'm quite impressed. That's not bad. I was expecting this to be far less finished. We have a bar here that's actually got some decoration. This settlement has more decoration than some of my settlements that have like 20 people who live in it. That's terrible. Anyway, but with the bar here, and in theory this would have been a lovely social area for the settlers if they'd have ever been able to move in. Now I'm a bit sad that I'm not going to be able to finish this. Oh well. Heading on outside, we have what I have to assume. Oh, here's possibly the happiest man in the Commonwealth.
Big ugly bastard sure hit us hard.
Oh yeah, I let this place get attacked like a dozen times. But heading on up to the roof of the main building. What do we have up here? Oh, that's nice. So we have some farm areas. I don't know why they aren't nearly as uniform as other... Oh, okay, well, they're kind of uniform. With a defence post and this little nice roofed area. This is actually probably one of my better building restorations, other than the fact that so much of the main building is unusable. Well, good job past me. Shame that I forgot about this, to be honest. Plenty of defences. And in here we have the workshop and also the one set that I'm pretty sure that is the bed he was using. And a forestry bench. So we can see that it's a shame. I had plans. Clearly I had plans. And that might be the extent of the plans of the settlement. Had a little radiation ring by there, but if the video jumps ahead here, it's because there's nothing else on the island. I'm not going to have a quick look around because there should be a bar. Because I suppose if he works the bar upstairs. Now, I'm pretty sure this Spectacle Island is in its entirety just the restored house. And I really like the restored house. But yeah, I should have checked that first. Yep, the one settler here works the one bar here. So, in conclusion, that was all of my remaining settlements. The unfinished, the underwhelming, the ones that I'll never get to finish. Mainly this one. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in Nuka-World and Far Harbour. End transmission.